Hi, this is Dr. Dave, and in this video I want to show you how to create an Excel worksheet that will allow you to calculate future values of investments, loans, things along that line. Here's what we're going to go ahead and create. It has a number of terms in column A and then some numbers and calculations in column B. The numbers that you will use in column B will be different for each one of you based on what is in the assignment page. So first let's take a look at what we have here. So we have in column A the number of times compounding in a year. That's what we would call M. And in this case it's 12. So I'm compounding monthly. It says years. We're going to go for 3 years. The rate is the value for R. It's our annual rate. In this case it's 6%. So our 0.06. However, we could put that in as 6 with the percent sign after it, and it would work also. The fourth row here is the number of periods. That would be what we call N, and this is going to be 36 periods because we're doing it for 3 years monthly. Now this worksheet also allows a place for us to put in if we were making some payments on a regular basis. That's something that's called an annuity, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But here we have a space for it. But because there's 0 here, we're not making any payments. The sixth row is the present value or the principal, what we would call capital P. And in this case, I have minus 10,000 because I've paid out $10,000 at the start of this. The minus means that I'm paying it out. The very last line here, the FV, stands for future value. That's what we would call the amount A in the future. And here it shows positive $11,966.81. Since we would be taking that back from the account, that's a positive number. So we'll be putting in numbers here and formulas for the first 6 rows, and then we'll have it calculate out what the future value is. So what you need to do is go ahead and open an Excel spreadsheet, a blank one. It'll look something like this. And now I'm going to have to put in those terms that I had along the left-hand side. So times compounding in a year. Remember, that's what we call M. I'm going to click down on the next cell. You'll notice that what I just put in there goes outside of the cell. So I'm going to make this column bigger. I'm going to go up to the border between the 2 columns where I get that little cross there. Hold the mouse button down and I can drag it to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and type in the second one, which was years. And then the rate. I'm going to click down in the next cell. And see what happens here is it goes ahead and puts a R there, like a registered mark. I'm going to hit undo and try that again. Rate, space, parentheses, R. This time it goes ahead and realizes, oh, I didn't want it to do that. I just wanted to leave it as R. Now we'll do the number of periods, what we would call N. Click down on the next cell, PMT for payment. So that would be capital R. Click on the next one. Again, it does that same thing that we had before. So I'm going to undo, type it again. And this time it should realize, oh, I don't want it to switch it to the R mark there. Now we're going to go ahead and type PV for present value, or what we would call the principal, capital P. And what we're going to calculate out is the future value, FV, what we would call in our formulas capital A. So I've gone ahead and put in these terms so I can keep track of what's what. And now I'm going to go ahead and enter numbers and calculations here to figure out what that future value is going to be. So I'm compounding monthly. So in sec B1, I'm going to type 12. I'm going to do it for 3 years. So in B2, I'm going to type a 3. My rate is 6%. So I'm going to put that in as 0.06. Although I could also type it in as 6 with a percent after it. Now I need to do the number of periods. Now I can clearly look at this and see the number of periods is 36, but I'm going to have it calculate. I'm going to type equals. I'm going to click on the number of times compounding in a year. That's B1. And then I'm going to type a star for times and then click on B2. And so it's going to take what's in B1 and B2 and multiply them. Press enter. It calculates the 36 for me. The payment, I'm not doing any payment here, so I'm going to put 0. And now remember, I'm going to pay out into this account $10,000. Remember, your number is going to be different. Since I'm paying out, I'm typing negative 10,000. Now I need to put in the formula for future value. And the command for that is capital F, capital V. Since it's a calculation, I'm going to type equals capital F, capital V. And as soon as I do that, it's going to go ahead and suggest some things to me. I'll type a parentheses. And now it's telling me I have to put the rate, the number of periods, the payment, and so on. So the rate that it wants here is the rate per period. Okay, and so that is the 6% divided by the 12. So I'm going to click on my 6%, do a slash for divide, and then click on the number of times compounding in a year. That will calculate out the rate per period. Now I'm going to put comma. I'm going to click on the number of periods, which was 36, comma, the payment, comma, and then the present value or the principal. I can see those pieces down here. The only place where you might get confused is they write it as rate here, but what they mean by rate is the rate per period. That's not what I put up here. That's why I needed to divide it by 12. I'll end the parentheses, press enter, and then it goes ahead and calculates out what the future value of that is. So if I put $10,000 into an account at 6% compounded monthly for 3 years, I'm going to end up with $11,966.81. So now that you've done your calculation, remember you'll be using some different numbers here. You're going to want to go ahead and save this. So you want to do a file and then save as, and tell it to save it as FV underscore followed by your last name. Once you've gone ahead and saved that file, you can close Excel, go back to the assignment page, and you're going to want to attach that file to that assignment page to turn it in. Then I'll go ahead and grade this and make sure your numbers and everything are done correctly and score that.